What do you do first after pandemic ends?
Well, I was in rehearsal with some of my colleagues, and they asked everybody in the room, what are we going to do when this is all over? And some of my colleagues were like, well, I want to go on vacation with my family, I want to go to Hawaii, and some are like, I want to go have pizza in New York City, and I was like, I want to play a concert for people, and they laughed at me. It's like, you're a workaholic and
you're being Korean.
Yeah. I miss more than almost anything making music for people. It's been really more of a challenge than I ever thought. It's wonderful to be online and to make videos, but there's nothing like live music. It just isn't.
Hope your mom is okay.
She's making it, I just have to make sure she doesn't go out to too many restaurants and enjoy it. But no, she's very careful. One of the nicest things that happened during the whole pandemic is my manager sent my mom a box of 100 masks. So she always wears a mask, and she's being very careful.
You're gonna say hi to Mama? 엄마, 안녕.
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 Hello.
Korean culture has spread all around the world, and it makes me incredibly proud and hopeful to see that so many wonderful things that I've really treasured and valued are recognized by many now. Arirang is a source of great pride and nostalgia and patriotism for our country, and I'd like to play that next for you.
It's been a few years.
Yes, it has been.
How have you been?
Very good. How are you doing?
Good. Now, you moved to Colorado from LA area?
Yes, just a couple months ago.
Slightly different?
Yes and no. It's beautiful like Los Angeles, Boulder, that's the city I live, but it's a little bit more of a small town.
You really kind of make people all over the world about the awareness about the instrument, viola, and in playing. It's just now there's a lot more loyal fans about instrument itself and you as well. So I want to ask about instrument first. Does anyone start playing a viola? I mean, even for yourself, you didn't start playing viola first.
When I started playing the viola in the late 90s, viola was still sort of, it was a known instrument, but it was not really a solo instrument. And over the years, I've had a few teachers that started on the viola, that that have been lifelong violists, unlike me, who is a violinist violist. Where I started in the violin because a lot of times violins, they come in really small sizes, and there are many people that can teach violin. But viola, the small violas that they sell at the instrument stores often sound really terrible. So, but now, here we are in 2020, and there are a lot of viola players, people that have never studied the violin.
So why viola?
I think a violist, the viola has been called the Cinderella of the orchestra, and I would say that a lot of the greatest composers that have ever lived for classical musicians, Bach, Beethoven, Haydn, Mozart, Schubert, all of them played the viola. And I believe a lot of violists are really interested in the inner architecture, the middle voices, because if you think about the siblings of the viola, the violin and the cello, the sister of the viola, the violin is a very virtuosic and brilliant instrument. The older brother of the viola, the cello, is a bass instrument that is profound and deep. And in the middle you have the viola. And I think for me, I enjoy being in the middle. I don't need to be the center of attention, and I enjoy how things work, and I also enjoy when other people are highlighted. I don't need to be highlighted, and I think a violist's role often is to make everyone sound their best and to make the music come alive. And if you're a supporting actor half the time or 3/4 of the time and you have your one moment to shine, that's fine, and I'm okay with that.
I want to start asking about your childhood. You know, you have an amazing life story. You're so lucky you have an amazing family. So tell us a little bit about your family.
Well, I've been really lucky that I had very, very loving grandparents and a one-of-a-kind, amazing mother, and people that really loved me and that helped get me set up.
Mm-hmm.
And then along the way, along this very interesting path of becoming a musician, I've had a lot of friends that have taught me many of my most important life lessons, and I think the music itself, I think the music has helped me evolve into a much greater person than I ever could have been without it.
Mm-hmm.
I firmly believe that when you surround yourself with great things, often you can't help but improve.
Mm-hmm. Tell me about your mom's story, how she came to the United States.
My mother, Lee Bok-soon, was adopted into the United States by my grandparents, the O'Neills, in the 50s. After looking for her family in Korea for many years, we weren't able to find anyone. So I don't really know what happened. I just know that she was orphaned in pretty bad conditions and then brought here to the United States and raised as an American. My mom suffered some permanent brain damage as a child, which has affected her ability to live, how do you say, like a conventional life. However, my grandparents were very good people, and they really helped keep the family going, and they gave her a loving home. And when I came along unexpectedly, they also took care of me as their good child, and raised me and gave me everything that I needed.
섬집아기, a lullaby that every Korean knows and loves, even though the lyrics are quite painful and sad. So it's been a favorite of mine for very many years playing it. Very few geniuses whose works endure the test of time, truly. I can think of a handful of people throughout history that we celebrate to this day, their work being as timeless as the day it was conceived. S.Bach must rank at the top of that list for many people. His compositions, for me, are creation itself. This next and last piece I'd like to play is the Prelude from the C major suite, one of 6 solo suites for cello that I've transcribed for viola.
very sad about Ditto exit. So how was it? How are the members like doing right now, and what's next for you?
Ending Ditto was a very disappointing thing for me, not because of my own feelings, which I won't get into, but mostly because I made Ditto for other people. I made it to bring a new audience to chamber music, and that new audience was like a family, is a family to me, and to stop playing concerts for them really felt sad. So I really felt tremendous responsibility to them for not being able to bring music to them anymore. But in hindsight, looking back now with COVID-19, I mean, Ditto probably would have been ended by COVID-19 if it wasn't for me just saying it's time to stop.
So in your opinion, musicians were born with talent, or is this something from the outward more?
I think it depends on the musician. Some musicians are so supremely talented that they don't really need to practice. But I always sense when you go on stage, you can't hide anything. So the human beings, or we've come to this point of our development by being very sensitive to reading into clues, and people that sort of don't care, or they just sort of do it and they don't think about it, you can tell. And the people that really don't have that ability but work every day, you can also tell. And I think, to me, the true genius in classical music is not the performer. The performer is the servant of the creator, which the creator for a lot of times for us are people that have been dead for centuries. And our job is to recreate music in real time now and have no barrier between when they wrote the piece, however long ago it was, and the minute the bow hits the string, the music comes alive, and our people, our audience, are touched and moved just like the composer just wrote the piece. And that's a hard thing to do, because I can't pick up my phone and call Beethoven and say, hey, what did you mean by that marking? I've been studying you for decades, and it's such an enigma. It's like, I can't call him up and ask him. So it's just, you spend a lifetime inferring and learning and making a lot of mistakes, but playing a lot of concerts and learning what sort of works and what you feel is the truth.
So you taught many students for many years, right? You've been teaching UCLA before, and then now you're kind of going back to university in Colorado. So what do you prefer, teaching or performing?
I really missed my role in academia, because I was at UCLA for 10 years, and it's so meaningful to be involved with people's lives at that stage of development. And it was great to accept the residency at the CU Boulder, and it's really wonderful.
So today we're recording here at the beautiful Korean Cultural Center here in mid-city Los Angeles. Los Angeles has been the home of many, many, many well-known celebrities of all fields, not just film. And one of music's greatest celebrities, Sergei Rachmaninov, actually had a residence here in Los Angeles before World War II. It's hard to imagine that we had such a great pianist and composer that lived not very far from here. So one of his most famous pieces, known to many, is his Vocalise. A vocalization is something that singers often use to warm up their voice before they perform. However, this Vocalise is quite beautiful and heartfelt, and not a warm-up at all.
KCCLA, thank you very, very, very much for this wonderful time. I am so deeply appreciative of this generous time to make this video, and I hope everybody comes to this beautiful place to look at all of the wonderful things that are here. And I hope everyone stays safe and healthy, and I hope to see you at a concert whenever it's possible.